Hi, happy Monday. I'm gonna make, with our beef bourguignon from last Saturday, I'm gonna make like a steak pie, beef pot pie kind of thing. I have never been more grateful for an easy dinner in my life. I just fell down the stairs an hour ago. So I've been sitting here with ice on my various parts while, luckily, my puff pastry was defrosting. So, ice in one place and de-icing in another. So what you want to do is you see these, just this kind, the sheets, not the shells. I mean, you can use the shells too, but for, a different thing. You just pull these out for about 20 minutes. And what should happen is that it needs to be soft enough that you can unfold it without it cracking, but you don't want it so soft that it's too flimsy to work with. And so in addition to this and our leftover beef stew from last week, the only other thing we need is frozen peas. And that's lucky, right? I am having a little whiskey. I had a wallpaper hanger in San Francisco who told me that the only thing that took the pain away was bourbon. So put that in your little Rolodex in your head. So what I'm going to use for this, since my puff pastry is square, and I don't have any round puff pastry, the dog wants water apparently, I'm going to use this square Pyrex. You can use whatever you want to. You can use like a big souffle dish, something round. I'm using this. I'm not into cutting up pastry dough today, and I didn't make it, so it's not round. So I could not think of another. Basically, you're going to take this out. If you want to cut up your beef into smaller pieces, you can do that. You can also just kind of, gloop it into the pan, into here. And what you can do, and I might do right now, the dog is very interested in this one. He's always interested, but all of a sudden the beef came out and he's like losing his mind. So you see it came out kind of in big chunks. Doesn't it look good? It smells good. And I might just kind of take a knife in the pan itself and just kind of, cut up the pieces a little bit so that they're a little smaller. It's not a big deal. This isn't it's not like, those frozen pot pies where there are like 4 pieces of chicken or beef in them and they're all like, the size of a Monopoly house. But this is really good. And, it's funny because, when I lived in like Scotland and Ireland, like this is a pretty staple dish at like the pub or steam table kinds of places. Like everybody has steak pie. You can get steak pie anywhere. Sometimes it has kidneys in it. So good. Anyway, so I'm just going to cut up a few of these pieces a little bit smaller, but it's not necessary. And the other thing, I have about half a bag of frozen peas. I can measure it out for you. Since we have so much time, this hasn't even been 4 minutes. It's a little bit more than a cup. And I am just going to take a little spoon here and move those around. And really the hardest thing about this is getting your puff pastry across the top without it splitting open. And I have the oven on at 400. And again, since everything is cooked, even the peas are sort of blanched in advance before they freeze them, this is not going to take a ton of time. You do want it to be completely cooked through. That seems to correlate nicely with the puff pastry being, you see, I'm going to show you this miracle. It's all unfolded so nicely, and it is exactly the size of one of these square Pyrexes, which is another kind of Monday night fell down the stairs miracle. I gotta tell you, I was wearing socks on wood stairs, and I shouldn't have done that. I tell my kids not to do that all the time, and here I am walking down the stairs, texting a friend about antiques like a dummy. But, you know, I don't know, death-defying antiques is what I do sometimes. So now it's all covered up. See that? And then, I mean, all you're going to do is cut some vents in the top. You can make them pretty. You can make them in a little pattern. You can spell your name. I mean, I don't care. It's your pot pie. You do whatever you want to with it. You know, make it look a little bit like a pie in a cartoon. And I'm going to put it in the oven. I haven't done this for a while. I think it takes about a half hour. I'm going to check it in a half hour. That's probably enough, I would say. So if you do this, give yourself 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I don't know. I didn't test it, but I've done it before, so I know it works. And that's our Monday night, fell down the stairs, have a glass of whiskey while you assemble dinner meal. And I hope you try it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you don't wear socks on the stairs like your dumb friend. Good night.